Thanks for the support as a channel member, Ian Larson. If you'd have wanted to own it, AEK Athens, you should have just bought them. No, I don't care how nice they were to you when Mark was there. Frankly, I don't think it's relevant to me. We're not going to go there and just try and be friends with them. We've got a football match to try and win. I appreciate we'll probably lose, but I need you to understand we're going there to try to win. Hello and welcome to part 11 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Super League. We're at home against Larissa and away against AEK Athens, the club which made all of this possible. The club that Mrs Wearmouth signed for back in the home series last year. Since you were last with me, we've had something of a change of fortunes. I mean, to be fair, we started changing the fortunes in the last episode, I guess, but they've remained changed. And we've had a couple of big results. We beat Panathinaikos. We narrowly lost against Olympiakos. We look like we wouldn't be out of place in that championship group if we can force our way into it. Gorka Santa Maria, joint top scorer in the league. Bumal is second. So we're scoring goals. We're just outside of the championship playoff group at the moment. There's another 12 games to play before that is settled. And I guess the only way we're going to force our way in is by beating some of the teams that are already in there. First up of which is Larissa at home. And then we're away against top of the table AEK. So we need, if we're going to get into that championship group, which is a big if, because that wasn't the plan at the start of the season, but if it's going to be possible, I think we need at least 4 points from today's episode. Any less than that, and we should just be proud of the fact that we're probably not getting relegated, because we're not going to end up, Volos are not catching us, no matter what happens. This is the team we're putting out there to face Larissa. We do have a little bit of a Gorka problem. Just mentioned he's been in fantastic form. Unfortunately, he's now got a groin sprain, which is going to keep him out for the next couple of weeks, possibly as long as a month, which is far from ideal, especially because Halilaj still not back to full fitness yet. He's actually had a game for the under-19s today, just to try and get some fitness back into him. So hopefully he might even be fit enough to play in the AEK game. But we're a little bit low on players. Andriopoulos still injured. Androutsos still injured. We've got players dropping like flies all over the place, and it does look like a little bit of a thrown together team. He wants to be. See, I don't know if he's the man to play, or if we should play Luris. Why is Luris not there? Where's Luris? Because he's already involved in another match today. Why was he involved in another match today? That seems stupid. We're going to have to play Athanasiadis up front, who is on the transfer list and has never been any good for us. This is a big test. So we've got Alberto in goal, about for Gianoutsas, Ryan Lawson, who, this probably should have been the headline news at the start of the episode. Ryan Lawson has done a Mick Powell and is now the best defender at the club. A 3.5-star current ability centre-back, 5-star potential still. Thankfully, we have got a big release clause on Ryan Lawson. So he's got a 3-year contract, and if someone does want him, they're going to have to give us £3.2 million for the pleasure. But I suspect they might at some point, because at 17 years old, he's already our best defender, and a very good defender for the league in general. Long live Ryan Lawson, one of our channel members. Ryan Lawson at the back, along with Papazoglu and Sanakakis. Zizopoulos, who would normally be at centre-back, is going to be playing at the base of the midfield, with Petralis and Kragiopoulos ahead of him, and then Bumal, Nacho and Athanasiadis up front. That is what's known as a thrown-together makeshift team that I'm expecting to get beaten. If we manage to get anything out of this game, just imagine how good we'll be when our actual first-team midfield and striker come back. Because none of those 4 players, right down the middle of the team, the key positions in the team, none of those 4 players would be in this team if I had my way. But I don't, because the others are all injured or been faffing about with the reserves. Ridiculous. Right, Gianoutsas, we know he can chuck a long throw in. That's exactly what he does, and it is causing a few problems. And he's now got himself into a crossing position. Petralis is there, but loses out on the ball. Zizopoulos collects it though. Why is it? Hold the phone. This is moving far too quickly. Why is it Why is everything moving that fast? Well, that feels like it's painfully slow. Zizopoulos, back to Petralis, to Zizopoulos again. Out to Giannoutzos. Is this now too slow? Boumal's just scored, so I'm not going to complain. My speeds feel off. My speeds feel really off. Match speed during text-only highlights. We can push that back up, I guess. Is that how I normally have things set up? I know there's a goal going on behind me. I'm sure we're all enjoying it on the bit that we can see. I need to decide if this is the right speed. It feels very slow. But at least we're racing through the match, so that looks right. But then the highlights, I don't want it to look like we're walking through treacle. No, this looks about right, actually. Nacho charging down this left-hand side. Of course, he's our right winger who's drifted out onto the left, having a shot. It's a terrible one that's straight at the keeper. He is a natural left footer, playing as an inside forward on that right-hand side normally. But that's why he hasn't scored as many goals as Boumal or Santa Maria this year, because his shot is a little bit tamer. How are we still below Larissa, by the way? Because we've got a better goal difference and we're level on points. I guess there's some kind of head-to-head, but we're beating them. They must have beaten us by more than one goal earlier in the season when we played. Imagine if that was how things finished and we finished below them with a better goal difference, having just beaten them, I'd be furious. Utterly furious. Head-to-head is such a stupid way to settle league positions. Give me goal difference any day of the week. There's another example of it there with Tripolis above PAOK at the moment because of... Oh, no, they're not actually because they've got more points. More points is an acceptable way to settle it. And I spent so long looking at that. It's the 74th minute. We've just conceded a goal and I haven't made my substitutions. It's all gone wrong. Right, Kiotis is going to come on up front to make his debut. He's an attacking midfielder, but we'll just play him in that role. What's the worst that can happen? And Varkas is going to come on the right-hand side, who's a striker. Oh, I mean, this feels resolvable. He can go up there. He's no better at it. We may as well do that then. We really are clutching at straws a little bit with some of these players that we've got. I think it's quite illustrative of how ropey this league is in places, that we're throwing out a bunch of people I haven't even heard of. Some of these, like 22 at 22. If you're not playing regularly at 22 in this squad, you're basically already written off. But those two somehow making it into the team, despite being old men, 22-year-olds. There you go. Kai Makakis can come on, but I mean he's a holding midfield player. We've got no players left. We need them to stop getting injured, please. I certainly need a few of them to be back again for the AEK game, or this is going to be a hideous second half to the episode coming up. Zizopoulos plays it forward to Varkas, takes it down, cross. I think he's looking for Boumal. It comes back to Varkas again. Petralis is there. Can he work a shot away? No, of course he can't because he's not very good. And now Larissa with the break. As much as we've put a random selection of players out there today, I will still be a little bit upset if we throw this away right at the end when it's been a pretty even game. So Larissa, clearly not any good either. But they have managed to grab the win. And that saddens me because we looked so good. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have made the substitutions. Maybe when you're down to your last couple of players, maybe just leave them on. Maybe taking Nacho off wasn't the best idea. And maybe taking off the only recognised striker wasn't a good idea. And now Larissa coming at it. I think, managerial naivety. I'm only the second year in. I'm calling naivety again. They don't know that I've had lots of different careers in lots of alternate universes. As far as this lot are concerned, I'm a year and a half into my managerial journey. I'm learning as I go. I'm allowed to make a few mistakes. And we've definitely made a few mistakes today. And we're 3-1 down. And I am not feeling very confident going into the AEK game that's coming out now. I really hope Halilaj is back. The goalkeeper, I mean, he may as well not be there. He's facing the wrong way. Just arms out. Arms out. That might work, but you're looking the wrong way. Or because you're side on, that's not made you any wider. You're just covering more depth What use is that? Right, Giannoutsos plays it forward to Boomal. A consolation would be nice. Boomal with the cross. Varkas hits the crossbar and it's cleared. We've still got 4 minutes left. If that had gone in, there might have been a chance for us to salvage something from the game, but I think I lost that chance with my substitutions today. I know I've made some bad substitutions over the years. I think we take the biscuit today and we might have a new record for worst set of substitutions ever made. And those 3 players might never get anywhere near the team again. I'm not going to be too harsh on the players because they know they were a makeshift side. And ultimately, we're well ahead of the Kev ratio. And that was the only goal this season, to not get relegated, to finish ahead of the Kev ratio. And we're still there at the moment. Please let Halilash be back for the AEK game. Well, we've got a couple of players back for this game. Larissa is back to come in and play up front. So as much as it pains me to do it, he gets to play as a target man because the only times he's ever scored for me, it's when he's been as a target man. We've mixed up the midfield a little bit as well. Zizopoulos is becoming the playmaker, even though he's a defender. Halilaj is fit but not match fit, so I'm thinking we bring him on with maybe half an hour to go. He could probably use another under-19s games. He's been out for 2 or 3 months at this point. I don't want to rush him back in and risk breaking him again, certainly in a big game like this. So Zizopoulos starts there. Petralis and Kragiopoulos are going to be the midfield. Kragiopoulos not much more match fit than Halilaj is, but he can come in and do that centre midfield attacking role and actually hopefully give us a little bit of link-up play oomph in there. And Kalapitas comes in to play at left-back because What's-His-Face can't play because he's on loan. Giannoutsos is on loan from AEK, so can't play. And Kalapitas has been asking for more game time anyway. He's the lad who can play anywhere across the back four. And I'm pretty sure at this point he is a right-back. Certainly his role and duties and stuff suggests he's a right-back. But today he can play left-back because he's natural in all of them. And Zanakakis has been playing very well in that right-back role this year, although it will be the Kalapitas role going forward. That's definitely where I imagine he's going to be playing when he fully bursts into the team. Right, we're definitely going to do the underdog team talk because I am expecting an absolute pasting today. Although AEK have fallen off the top of the league, so presumably they lost their last game. So that's interesting. But then so did we. So it's not that interesting. What is going to be interesting is seeing how Ryan Lawson gets on in a big away game against, realistically, one of the better teams in the division. And whether or not it results in them wanting to have a closer look at him and maybe making an offer if he has a good game, which I'm not against selling him if we can, as long as we get his release clause. I've got no interest in selling him for a couple of 100,000. No matter how, I think I'm tempted to dig my heels in. No matter how grumpy these youngsters get, I think my policy is going to be, if you want to go, you find a club will meet your release clause, because otherwise we're building a team around these young players. I don't want to let them go if they're players that I want to keep, unless I don't have the choice. So even if they do get a grumpy on, probably just keep them. What's the harm? There could be potentially a lot of harm, as we saw it on stream a couple of months ago. Not even that, like 3-4 weeks ago. We had a player who absolutely ruined us with home on the Twitch stream, and we let him go, and suddenly our form turned around. So I guess you do have to be a little bit careful not to keep them if they're really, really unhappy and they've got a lot of mates, which I guess Ryan Lawson is likely to have a lot of buddies because he came through the youth system. The class of 2019 or 2020 or whatever it is, I guess it's the class of 2020. They're all going to be buddies with him, presumably. Nacho's in here, but once again, his finishing lets him down. I think I might adjust Nacho to be an inverted winger, because as much as I like an inside forward, he's just not got the finishing to do it. Larissa does quite well there, wins the ball back, hits it really hard. But I think, in fact, we might make that change after this corner. Boomal with the in-swinger, and I didn't even see who that was, who was there. But I think Nacho, if we make him an inverted winger, and just makes him less likely to shoot, because he's very good at dribbling, gets into some good positions, and we just need to teach him, right, you've got into your good position, now give it to Larissa, and let him do the shooting, because he's quite good at that, whereas you're not. Nacho plays it off to the defender, and Kragiopoulos is charging forward, proper attacking midfield play from him, and he scores a really unlikely goal away against AEK. We've brought 2,500 fans with us to this game. I mean, we know, we've looked at the maps before. We know there's not a lot of distance between any of us Athens clubs, of which, of course, AEK Athens are one of the Athens clubs, as we are, and we've brought 2,500 fans with us, and we're 1-0 up against them, which is ridiculous. What's also ridiculous is, as it stands, we're only 6 points behind them, which is absolute madness. Right, I want to get Halilaj on. I think I'm going to take off Ryan Lawson, drop Zizopoulos back, and bring Halilaj on, just because he's awesome. And on that basis deserves to be on the pitch. We're just going to adjust these two around into the roles we'd normally play them in as well. Larissa is having a terrible game, so Athanasides can come on and play as the poacher. He was rubbish in the last game, but I just don't think a target man works with how I want to play. But it's all Larissa can really do. We need to get him into being a complete forward, but he's young. Yeah, I've never seen a complete forward younger than like 23. So hopefully at some point it'll just click over into being a complete forward. I think it's something to do with current ability. You have to have a certain level before you can be a complete forward. So he might well be able to be a complete forward now. How quick is he? Not very. So he probably can't yet, actually. We need to train him as an advanced forward in the hope that it helps him become a complete forward. Right, Nacho's got the ball in the middle here. Does he pass it this time? I'm going to call that a pass. It was a tackle that ended up with Menendez. Boomal shoots. We've gone 2-0 up away against AEK Athens. We've come here and beaten them. That is ridiculous. What a set of results. We're young. We're going to be incredibly inconsistent, and we have been. But on our day, we can beat anyone in this division, and this isn't even our strongest team. We're missing our top goal scorer in Santa Maria. We're still missing our most creative player in Androutsos. And we've still come to AEK and beaten them. Absolutely sensational. This is where they score 2 goals late on now, and we don't end up beating them, because that is some good football there. Sanakakis, terrible clearance. And the attack continues, although Nacho has now got the chance to just run up this right-hand side route. Just keep running. You're playing as an inverted winger now. Just run and then pass at the end. That'll do. Run and draw the tackle and win the throw. I'm on board with that. And that is a big, big victory. Fantastic performance. And we are in the discussion for being in this championship group, as we've got, 10 games left. Well, I think we're already safe from relegation, because when it does split off, if we're in this bottom tier group, we're going to win it, because we're better than all of this lot. We ain't going down, and that is the important thing. Wonderful. Right, we will be back tomorrow as usual. We'll probably go somewhere maybe halfway through, and then, or do we go all the way to the split now? No, it's too far. We'll find a suitable place. We'll find some interesting games in that chunk of games, maybe even Panathinaikos and Olympiakos back to back. That's an interesting little double header that we could probably do tomorrow. Anyway, if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.